This is Newcap News with Nerman Isa.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. A local cheese company has opened its doors to the public to give them an inside look into how they create their natural artisan cheese. For many, the dairy product is a staple in their diet, and the tour was a great way for the Cheesiry to show local foodies just how fresh their cheese is.
So we'll start the tour off here in the cheesery itself, and then we'll head out to the animals afterwards.
Rhonda Zook-Hayden is the owner and cheesemaker at the Cheesery. The unique cheese boutique is located just outside Kitscoty. An open house was held Sunday to give a behind-the-scenes look at the art of making the beloved dairy product.
I think for them it's interesting to see what a piece of cheese really looks like, and just to understand how you can make cheese. I myself, before I knew how to make it, I only assumed that you could make it in a factory, not knowing that you could make it on a smaller basis.
Hayden says many people have asked for a tour. One of the biggest reasons is because they use sheep's milk.
Many people don't know that you can milk a sheep, so that's very interesting for them. A lot of people in the area have worked on a dairy, or they used to milk cows long ago, so for them that's interesting to see how sheep are milked.
Hayden also wants people to know that her company only uses fresh ingredients. She says a lot of cheeses aren't made from pure milk, but from milk powders and modified milk ingredients.
Hopefully people get to see a true farm, a true food process. We want to be as transparent as possible with our food production, knowing that we don't hide anything. We are using our pure milk, and that we produce in a clean facility, and we want people to feel comfortable with what they're eating.
The Cheesery makes several kinds of cheese, including feta and pecorino, an Italian-type cheese. If you're interested in checking out the Cheesery, you can email Hayden at cheesery@gmail.com.
Sandy Beach campers got an explosive show last night as their sky lit up with a parade of fireworks. Elise Cox has more.
My grandparents invited us out to their camper for the night for the fireworks.
And they were in for quite a show. With Larry Olenek manning the spectacle, he had some high expectations to meet.
Last year was really spectacular, so we're looking forward to seeing it this year.
Well, I'm expecting them to be very beautiful.
And these campers weren't disappointed. The fireworks have become a tradition over the last 4 years, and the show keeps growing.
There's always a bit of fireworks, I suppose, that kind of happen around the lake, but kind of been growing monumentally, I might say, here over the last couple of years for sure.
And although he says it may not be the highlight of everyone's summer,
but it certainly puts a little bit of, I would just say, a little bit of fun, a little bit of spark into it, I suppose that's the right word, eh?
And certainly lit up the night for these campers. Elise Cox, Newcap News.
Emmett Murphy joined me here on the desk, and that's actually going to be a really big debate, because I remember when I was in Edmonton when they banned peanuts at Commonwealth Stadium. That caused a huge uproar for a lot of people.
I'm not a fan myself. I love peanuts, peanut butter. I have it every day in the morning. It's great.
It is. I understand, though. So you could still enjoy a football game without peanuts.
Well, that's
right?
what it is. Bottom line, you're there for the competition. And this week in Meadow Lake, there was tons of competition for the Saskatchewan Summer Games. And they have now concluded in Meadow Lake. On the final day of competition, local young athletes put forth some strong performances. Team Rivers West volleyball team had a tough task on Friday, losing to Team Saskatoon in straight sets. In order to win a medal, the boys needed a win against Southwest. The guys absolutely dominated their competition, winning in straight sets 25-12, 25-16. That put them in another do-or-die game against a very strong team from Regina. Rivers West lost the first set 25-22. Another loss, and the boys would not have a chance at a medal. The boys regrouped, hammering Regina in the second set 25-12, and that momentum continued in the third set as they made it look easy with a 15-4 victory to move to the bronze medal game. And in that third place game, Rivers West had another strong match, crushing North in both their sets 25-17 and 25-11. Team Rivers West wins 3 straight matches in convincing fashion to claim the bronze medal. In girls volleyball, the Rivers West ladies had an inconsistent start to the tournament, dropping their first match and having to claw back with a couple wins to have a chance to medal. The girls dropped their first playoff game in straight sets to Southwest, and in the first set of the 7th place game, Rivers West was run over 25-7 by Parkland Valley. Somehow, they came back in set 2 with a 25-22 win before clinching the victory with a 15-8 win in the 3rd. Rivers West had success in the men's triple jump early on Saturday when team members finished 1st, 3rd, and 4th. Scott CITL won that event. His sister Mackenzie showed she is also pretty talented at the triple jump, finishing in 7th on the ladies' side. Her teammate Nicole Anhorn finished 14th overall. And the Rivers West team had limited success on the track this week. Nicole Anhorn, who we mentioned in the triple jump, finished just off the podium in the 100 meters. She was snake bit again in the 4x100 relay as her and her teammates finished less than a second off 3rd place in 4th. Team Rivers West had a strong start to softball, winning their first 2 games. They dropped their next 2, however, putting them in the bronze medal match against Saskatchewan. They got back-to-back home runs in the 2nd inning, powering them to a 5-2 win and the bronze medal. And yes, the games are now complete. The medal count has been tallied. Team Regina ran away with the competition, earning 39 gold medals and a whopping 113 overall. Rivers West put forth a stellar showing with 46 medals. The team had a dominant performance this week in the pool, winning over a 1/3 of their medals in the water. And one girl, Alexandria Callbeck, had a Michael Phelps-worthy week. Alexandria won 9 medals, 1 bronze, 6 silver, and 2 golds. Congratulations, Alexandria. That's your first look at Newcap Sports. Stay tuned for more news and weather after the break. The best U16 female players in Alberta were in Edmonton this week for the first ever Western Canadian Basketball Championships. Coaching the squad was Lakeland College's own female basketball head coach, Chris King. The girls got off to a hot start, winning their first 2 games against Saskatchewan and Manitoba. However, they fell to the powerhouse British Columbia team in their final game of the round robin. The girls played for bronze this morning against Team Manitoba. Alberta came out on top in the first meeting between the two, but just by 5 points in a 44-39 win. Alberta was even stronger the second time around, winning 54-43 to head home with a bronze medal. The battle for top spot in the CPCA continues in Dewberry this weekend. Heading into the weekend, Vern Nolan was the man to beat, having won 3 show titles this season. But heading into today's races, he dropped to 2nd spot, being overtaken by BJ Carey, who has run consistently all year long. BJ led the standings by just half a point after Saturday. The second day of races got underway this afternoon, with Shane Nolan recording the 5th fastest time of the day at 109.76. That gives him valuable points as he sits outside the top 11 in 15th spot. Lane Bremner, who is 3rd in the standings and rising, finished 1/100th of a second ahead of Shane for 4th spot. Bob Van Eaton is also making a charge for the top 11, ending up 3rd on the day with a 109.63. Ross Knightswagon, driven by Neil Walgenbaugh, ran a speedy 109.56 to keep him in the top 9 needed to qualify for Saskatoon next weekend. And Brian Labacane, who recorded a no time last night, rebounded with the fastest time of the day, the only man to go under 109. He finished in 108.91 to win day money. So after 2 days of racing, it's a log jam at the top. Less than half a second separates the top 5 times. Devin Mitswing, who is 5th in the season standings, is also 5th in the show. Ross Knight, who is 2nd fastest today, is in 4th spot. Just ahead of him is Bob Van Eaton, who needs a few good shows to qualify for Calgary. Jamie Labacane, who already knows he's headed to Calgary next year, is in 2nd. And leading the show, the man who sits 3rd in the season standings, Lane Bremner. He was just 6.5 points off the season lead coming into today, despite not winning a show all year long.